This is one-on-one session with the Forum IAS founder and director Ayush Sinha. In this session, students are asked questions to test their preparedness for the personality test. One-on-one sessions are not mock panel sessions.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. So, Durga Prasad Adhikary.
Yes, sir.
Durga, are you currently working somewhere?
No, sir.
So, Durga, can you briefly introduce yourself to me?
Namaskar, sir. I am Durga Prasad Adhikary. I am from Barampur, Odisha. I have done my BTech in Mechanical Engineering from CT Bhubaneswar. Later, I joined in Bosch as Design Engineer. Later, I served in Maruti as Assistant Manager in R&D Division of Maruti Suzuki India Limited in the CNG portfolio. Later, I worked as class teacher in Vedantu Innovations Limited. As a person, I feel I am creative and contemplative.
So, you are from Odisha.
Yes.
What are the major temples in Odisha?
To start with, even Bhubaneswar is called the temple city of India also. To start with, the major attraction is the Lord Jagannath's temple in Puri. Later, we have Lingaraj temple in Puri. Also, we have Mukteshwar temple, the other local temples like Ma Budhi Thakurani temple, Siddhivinayak temple. So,
What is the common feature of this temple architecture that arose in Kalinga or Odisha as we call it today?
They are that is the Kalinga architecture, and we have the Rekha Devula and Pidha Devula style of temples. Each temple is divided into 4 parts as such, with a boundary wall also, which we can see in Konark, Puri, and the Lingaraj temple. So the main part is the Sanctum Sanctorum, that is the part where the deity is there. Then we have the adjoining Jagamohan part. It is the passageway. Later we have the Nata Mandap and the Bhoga Mandap.
If you were appointed as an advisor to the chief minister and he would ask you to focus on certain areas so that Odisha's economy could grow multiple times, what sectors would you advise on focusing?
Primarily as such,
Think and tell me the answer, okay? You can
Sure,
take your time, think and tell me the answer.
primarily the Odisha's economy is mostly agricultural. So I feel there is a need for the improvement of the industrial sector. As a advisor to the chief minister, I will focus on more industrialization of the state with the more business-centric policies like the more easing of the norms so that the ease of doing business also increases. Another sector that I will focus is the tourism sector. I feel Odisha, being blessed by a lot of tourist places, is highly underutilized or is working at under potential. So the tourism sector with the coastal beaches, the mountain ranges, the lush green forest, and the Bhitar Kanika and the Chilika lake we have, there is a huge potential for the tourist development as well. The third thing that I will advise to the Honorable Chief Minister would be the improvement in the entrepreneurship sector so that our youth can be job giver rather than job takers, and so that much of the youth is utilized, and so that we can reduce the migrant problem. We have a lot of migrants from Odisha, particularly from my district as well, to Gujarat. So we can utilize our youth in our own state, making them a part of the development wheel of the state.
So Lord Jagannath, why was this name given? He is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, right? Lord Jagannath is Lord Vishnu.
Yes, as such, because Lord Jagannath is identified as Lord Vishnu and not such as an avatar. And because he is the Lord of the whole universe rather than of a particular sect or religion, he is called Lord Jagannath. And we have also mention of him in the Skanda Purana. So from there we have Lord Jagannath.
Odisha also has some unique cuisines.
Yes.
Culturally, Odisha is a lot different from both the north as well as the south.
Yes.
So sometimes we say that in Odisha we find the best of north and best of south. Can you tell me something about Odisha's cuisines?
The first thing, that is the chena poda, that is a very delicacy, the sweet delicacy that is primarily found in Odisha. It is the burnt paneer in a very ambient temperature. Next we have the famous rasagolla, over which the controversy was also there. We also have pakhal bhat. Pakhal bhat means it is a rice which is kept with water for 2 to 3 days and then it is eaten. Also, we have other sweet delicacies like the rasabali and we have chenna jhilli. Lot of things are there.
With respect to the Rasagulla controversy, so we all know that Rasagulla as a word was a Bengali word, but then Odisha claimed that it is a native of Odisha. So, what is your opinion on it? What is your position on it?
I feel with respect to the word Rasagolla might be from Bengal, but in Odisha they call it Rasagolla. And earlier times, Bengal and Odisha were in the same province. As we know, in the Bengal presidency and all, we find the incident of Rasagolla in the 15th century. Writer Balram Das, that Jagannath gave it to Lord Lakshmi to satisfy her after coming from Rath Yatra. However, I feel there is a difference in the making pattern, the texture of Rasagolla. So I think they both emerge simultaneously in both the parts.
So, you're saying that, okay, now is it different or does it taste the same? Or is there a difference?
There is a difference. There is a difference.
You love to read books on Indian philosophy. So, tell me, what is the philosophy of your life?
The philosophy of my life as such, sir, is paropakara punyayam papaya parapidanam. This is what has inspired me throughout my life. This is what says Vyas has said, that to help others is the greatest virtue and to hurt others is the greatest sin. Whenever I face any dilemma in my life, I try to think on these lines and I get my answer from the conscience. This has been the philosophy of my life.
So, you've also read about Advait Vedanta. There are different kinds of truths or different levels of truths that we have talked about in Advait philosophy.
Yes, sir.
What are those various kinds of truths?
Sir, primarily in Shankaracharya posits there are three different levels of realities in Advait Vedanta. That is, the one is the Pratibhasik level, that is the dream state. There the truth is illusory. Next is the Vyavaharik level, the empirical level, the current world where we are living. This is also not the complete truth. The third is the Paramarthik level, that is where the being realizes that it is none other than the Supreme Brahman. So that is the ultimate truth that is in the Paramarthik level. So there are three different levels of
Pratibhashik, Vyavaharik and
Paramarthik level.
So the world, the gods that we worship them because we believe in which of these three truths?
In my opinion, currently what we are doing, it is of the Vyavaharik level. We are in the middle level. And as it is also said in the Upanishadic verse and all this time, Eko Brahma Dvitiya Nasti, and there is one Brahman and no two, and also that Akasut Patitam Toyam Sagarat Pratigachati, that every drop that comes from the sky ultimately merges into one supreme ocean. Similarly, I feel these all worshipping of different gods will at the end merge into that supreme Brahman when we will realize that yes, there is one supreme being.
So why did Shankaracharya call his philosophy Vedantic philosophy? Instead of, he could have called it a monotheistic or monistic policy, but he has chosen the word Advait, which means do nahi. Now, what is the reason?
Sir, when we say one is there, it means we are limiting the ultimate thing. It is the iti. We are saying that this is that, this is that. However, Brahman being infinite and something that we cannot decipher with the human intellect, we can only say what Brahman is not. So, in that sense, he goes to say that it is not two, which ultimately means it is one.
How has Ramanujacharya, has he criticized Shankaracharya or has it been vice versa?
Ramanujacharya came later than Shankaracharya and he has criticized Shankaracharya.
Tell me any two criticisms of Shankaracharya that Ramanuja has successful, which you think has been a very logical criticism of Shankaracharya.
As such, Ramanuja said the Sapta Anupapatti, 7 types of criticism. However, they have been fully defended by the Advaitists. So, at the end, Shankaracharya says what Ramanujacharya says is in the Vyavaharik level. So, none of his criticisms stands to the point.
What is the central philosophy of Gita?
If I were to summarize it, one slok that Sri Krishna says, that is Sarva Dharman Parityajam Mamekam Saranam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami Masuchaha. That means leave aside all the dharmas that you have and all these discriminations and all these things of me and you that you have. Focus single-handedly on your work, on me, that is the Lord, and you will get the moksha. This is what Sri Krishna summarizes the Gita at the end in the 17th chapter also.
What do you think should be the philosophy of civil service of the country?
I feel the motto of the civil services that we have, in fact the IAS that we have is apt enough, that is the Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam. This is the motto of IAS, that is, one must desire for the excellence in action, and by this excellence in action, one can serve the society in its true potential. And the other philosophy that would serve and that is the guiding light of civil services is the Seva Paramo Dharma. That is, the service to everyone is the ultimate goal of the civil services, because at the end we are services or the servants of the people.
Have you heard of the Sanskrit slok Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita?
Yes, I am aware of it.
Can you tell me which organization in India has this as their motto?
I'm not able to recollect it right now, so I'm really sorry about
Can you tell me what does this mean?
Uh, this means one who is pertinent, one who follows on the path of dharma. That dharma is not religion as such, but the moral conduct, the values, the ideals, the principles of life. Then he is saved by the same dharma. And if I may describe dharma, it is said in the Sanskrit that dharayati iti dharma. The one stabilizes you, the one anchors you to the realities is dharma. So the one who follows dharma in all ways will be saved by dharma.
Why is it said? Can you think from a practical perspective and justify why this is said?
To put it in civil services perspective, there would be a lot of situations when the civil servant would be in ethical dilemma whether to do right or whether to do, there would be other lucrative things also. But if the civil servant sticks to its dharma, that is the integrity and honesty to the job and not getting into bribery or corruption, at the end he will be saved, although he might face some momentary discrepancies, but at the end he will emerge victorious. And this is what is the relevance in the current life also. And in fact, in every moment we are living to it.
Durga, what is your optional subject?
Sir, mine is philosophy. Sir.
So why did you choose this option?
Because since my childhood, I was much more interested in philosophy to know at the end what is the reality of life. And once I thought I will pursue in the path of UPSC, I was delighted to know that this optional also exists. So I pursued it.
Your engineering discipline is?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. Can you tell me, we are currently contemplating two types of technologies to fuel our vehicles, or even for what you call any mobile device. We are thinking of hydrogen fuel cell and electric vehicles. Can you tell me few advantages that hydrogen fuel cell has over electric vehicles?
The number one advantage that I feel, that I see, is maybe the reduction in the pollution, because pollution in electric vehicles, we say as such, is low. However, the cost of extraction of all those rare earth minerals, if you add on to it, electric vehicles is also a bit polluting. Hydrogen fuel cell, using hydrogen and oxygen as the fuel and only giving byproducts of water vapor and some carbon dioxide, we can also reduce the pollution level. Number two, that I feel, hydrogen fuel cell vehicle would be less expensive in the long run, because electric vehicles have needs huge infrastructure and huge the safety nets required, because there have been explosions in past few days which have reduced the what we say, the safety potential of the vehicles and put it under the suspicion.
Safety potential of which vehicles?
Electric vehicles. We had an incident in Madhya Pradesh wherein the vehicle.
Why do you think hydrogen fuel cell? Because we are going to technically electrolyze, right? And we are going to get, and we'll have hydrogen, right? Which itself is very highly inflammable. So that is a bigger a safety threat, no, than an electric vehicle.
I feel that because having worked in CNG also, where CNG was also highly inflammable and was kept under high pressure, I feel the security systems, that is the safety systems that we install in all those things, are up to the mark. Like we had a very huge, thick cylinder which has to be replaced at certain intervals of time, that is subjected to 200 to 300 bar pressure, and the burst testing and all. I feel those all things are taken care.
Think of one innovative method where, because you're coming from that sector, so we have to develop the hydrogen economy, right? Now there is this chicken and egg problem there. If you want to develop hydrogen economy, you will have to bring in investments. If you bring in investments, it will become expensive. If it becomes expensive, customers will not buy it, or it will be rejected by the market, right? So initially, there is a big problem. If it is customers are not adopting it, then there will be no investment. So there is this which comes first problem is there. Can you tell me what measures can be taken by the government that can bring an immediate increase, or that can, yes, in the demand of hydrogen, so that enough investments flow in it, and because this we have an economy of scale such that the prices go down and customers are or consumers are able to adopt it?
Sir, I feel here the government has a very big crucial role to play, because as this is a very nascent sector, leading all those things, leading a huge investment, and the customer is basically new to this thing. So the first thing that the government must do is can provide an incentive while buying the vehicles, like we have in the electric vehicles, where there is a huge amount of discount is there. Number two, with respect to the fuel also, if we can also subsidize all those fuel things and make the alternative systems like the what we have in electric vehicles, the electric vehicles are also being subsidized, and the other IC engine vehicles are being made costlier with the enhanced norms, the BS6 fuel and all those things. If we can approach such systems so that the alternative part is gradually reduced in its suitability or fittingness to the customer, we can enhance the the demand of the vehicles in the customers.
If we mix, we already have CNG vehicles. There is a demand created for CNG, therefore the whole supply chain is working efficiently. What prospects can be there if we mix hydrogen in CNG, or if we add certain element of hydrogen to the CNG?
Sir, HCNG, that is called HCNG.
Yes, HCNG.
HCNG is even a better prospect than the normal CNG, because it provides higher power, it is less polluting, and it has higher efficiency in terms of the thermodynamic
Plus, will it meet our problem? So, will it solve our problem, creating the initial demand?
Yes, sir, to some extent it will help. It will definitely help, because at the end, the transition from CNG to hydrogen vehicles would
even
be
if
smoother.
not that, then at least on day zero, I have created a demand for hydrogen, which will bring in the necessary investments, isn't it? At least I want to have 100% demand with HCNG introduction, a government policy, right? A government has monopoly over such regulations, it can say that there should only be HCNG. Immediately you have met at least 30% of your target, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That would be a good thing.
So, Durga, why do you want to join civil services?
So for me, civil services is the means to serve the society at large in a more meaningful and in a more direct way. Having worked in the automotive sector, I have learned that I was also contributing to the society, but the type of change that I want to bring in the society will be much more easier and in a better way if I will join the civil services. The small changes would bring a lot of meaningful things in the lives of the common man.
All right, Durga, your interview is over.
Thank you, sir.